Hi, I'm James. Welcome back to Marriage Mondays. Today, this is the final session on the book Saving Your Marriage Before It Starts. And we're looking at this final section of the final chapter. I've said final too many times, haven't I? Called Tending the Soul of Your Marriage. It's looking at how you can grow deeper in your marriage. They say that if you have restlessness in marriage, the antidote for that is not excitement, not more activity, but depth. How can you gain depth in your marriage? There are three disciplines that I'd like to address in this video. The first is worship, the second is service, and the third is prayer. First, worship. There have been studies, there are studies that I'm going to look at through this session. I'll link them in the description down below. So there was a study that showed that couples who attend church together, even as little as once a month, increase their chances of staying married for life. Other studies have also shown that churchgoers feel better about their marriage than those who don't worship together. From our experience, I grew up in the church. Charlotte did not, but she came to faith in her mid-teens. And that's where we got to know each other. The first time that we actually met was at my own home, where there was a youth cell, a group of teenagers that would meet socially, but also would open up the Bible and talk about the big ideas with God and the gospel and Christianity. And we grew as acquaintances there, turned to friendship and then romance a few years later. And worshipping together, I think, has really helped us in our marriage, because it gives us something to focus on that is bigger than us. It's not focusing on me, it's not focusing on our relationship, but when we focus on God in worship and do that side by side, that really helps our marriage. Then service. We've recently had experience of serving together. We led a holiday club for primary age kids that we did online in the last month or so, and there were a lot of challenges, but it was a wonderful thing to do. We really enjoyed it, and thankfully some other people who watched it enjoyed it too. But we were able to, through serving, serve one another. It's one thing to serve together, because again, like was mentioned in the worship, it's like you're working toward a goal. You're doing something that's bigger than yourselves together. But also when you serve, you can serve each other at the same time. Just for one example, I was really struggling to upload this video to YouTube for the first session. I was up half the night trying to work out why it just wouldn't upload. And eventually Charlotte woke up in the not so early hours and helped take over and finish that job for me. So then she was able to serve me as a part of that process of serving others through leading that holiday club. Then we look at worship as the third. No, I'm sorry. We look at prayer as that third discipline. There's a sociologist called Andrew Greeley who surveyed married people and found that the happiest couples were those who pray together. Those who pray together stay together. There's also a report, which I'll link down below, which says that those who pray regularly say that they have a considerably higher sexual satisfaction. It's not just about prayer. There are consequences to being vulnerable with each other, and that's maybe one reason why couples don't pray together, other than whether or not they're religious. There's something about prayer which is just you laying it all out there. It's just you sharing your thoughts, your deepest desires, your ambitions, your goals, but also in humility, laying it over, handing it over to God and saying, your will, not mine. That may be a reason why some couples don't do it, but I hope and I pray that you would do it for the sake of your marriage, but also for the sake of your relationship with Jesus. So I'm just going to leave you with this one little anecdote, which is what finishes the book. And this is taken from another book called A Severe Mercy, which depicts the real-life love story of Sheldon and Davy Vanuken. They were two lovers who they decided they had a goal to make their love invulnerable. The plan was to share everything. Absolutely everything. If one of them liked something, the other would decide that there was something in that to like. And then they would go off and get engaged with that together. It didn't matter what that like was, whether it was sport, it was exercise, stamp collecting, chess, whatever it might be. They decided that if one of them liked it, the other would engage in it and would find some pleasure in it. Their goal through that was so that there would be so many different strands, like a spider's web. There would be so many different things that would interlink them together that it would be inconceivable that one of them would be able to find any kind of connection as strong as that with anybody else. So that's maybe a challenge for you to think about. Can you find something to like in what your spouse likes and engage in that? Thank you so much for coming on this journey with me through this book, Saving Your Marriage Before It Starts. I'll come back next week with another book. Look forward to seeing you then. God bless. Bye.